Hey guys, it is a Rapmark here. So I this afternoon got to see the new Suicide Squad film. Um, and let me say it was a breath of fresh air from what the first one was. I was not the biggest fan of it. I mean, I thought it was entertaining, but it really wasn't that good. This was also back in the time where like DC, I was just like, I get it, you're all about the gritty and stuff like that. It just seemed like those movies took themselves way too seriously, and they weren't as fun as they probably could have been. And it seemed also like there were too many messages to be made. I don't know. It was a weird time for DC, but with this one, I do believe it came back in fighting form. They have brought back James Gunn um, off his firing, uh, so now he's done this one, and he's also working as director for the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So good on him, and I just love what he brings to it, just with his humor and just the way he does is like non-chronological. There's a lot of this leads to that, and but not in linear. Like it'll go, the story will go forward, and then it'll go back and show another aspect, and then go forward, and then proceed from like it's just kind of cool the way he does how he does stuff like that. And I have to say it was very, very well cast. Like if you look at it, there are just tons of people. Like it's not just Margot Robbie and Elba, who I did love, by the way. They were great. And John Cena, I yeah, I think this is probably my favorite film he's been in because he actually brought a lot to the table. It was super fun. I mean, they brought in Peter Capaldi as the Thinker. Like this was an all-star cast. So yeah, I was very impressed with the way they did it. And you actually cared about these characters, unlike the first one where it's just like, oh, I only care about maybe one or two of these people, and the rest of them are just like, I mean, they're cool, but I mean, I why do I care about this person again? Yeah, it was yeah. So this one was much better. It did um I think it did the music, like the music is all was insanely good. I really enjoyed it. Let's see, who was the leader of it? Rick Flag, there we go. Or was it? Was it? Hold on, let me make sure. Let me make sure. Yeah. Yeah. So I thought he was way better than when the first one, where it's just like I just don't care. And you didn't. Most of the characters in the first one you did not care about. This one you actually really, really cared about these characters, and it wasn't just one or two. It was literally everyone. I was actually surprised that Polka Dot Man, he he didn't have a lot of spoken lines, but man, when he was there, he really stole the show. And FYI, not a whole lot of people make it. We'll go into that more in spoilers, but yeah, a lot of people die. But it's super fun. But I mean, there you have like a weasel, a shark. It's 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 just silly. It's over the top, but it does it in a good way. The only thing I can fault this with is maybe a little bit of pacing because I mean the beginning was great. It set off just all cylinders running. The ending was great, and then like there were parts in the middle where it did kind of drag. I felt, but so it just felt a little bit uneven toward the middle, like maybe the second act and the very beginning of the third act, I would say. but I mean, most like you're in it the whole way. Like I never felt bored. I just felt that maybe some of the things were a little bit over drawn out. And let's see what else can be said about this. I mean, I think that's really most of what I can say, like without spoiling so much. So I think I'll just go to my final verdict, and we'll just jump right into the spoiler section. I mean, this one I'm gonna give. I think this one deserves. Oh, screw it. I'm gonna give it an 8 of 10. I was debating between 8 or 9. You know what? No, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to give this a 9 because I actually really enjoyed it. Compared with the first one, it is really good. It is completely solid. They did a good job. And it makes me actually excited for more. Whereas the first one is just like, like I didn't care about any of it. And I thought it was a little bit dumb in many ways. Um, but yeah, this one I think was a good one, and it gets you kind of just like a little bit thirsty for more. It is kind of ridiculous. It is kind of ludicrous. It is very bloody. Okay, so yeah, it is bloody. I would not recommend this for kids. It is very graphic, and I mean, there's one point where you see a man's dong, and from what I've read, apparently you also can at some point see Weasel's dong at some point. So yeah, this is not what I would consider by any means a children's movie. This is definitely more your like older teenager uh, film. So yeah, 9 of 10. Great watch. I enjoyed it through and through, and like the best thing, like if you can make it through the first scene, that pretty much sets the tone for it. And if you can make it through that, you'll love this movie. If you love that scene, you'll love the movie. So yeah, 9 of 10. Fun watch. Go see this movie. I will see you a little later in the spoiler section. So see ya. Hey, what is up, guys? It is Rapmark back. So, here for the spoiler section. So, oh my gosh. So, this thing starts out firing, like I said in the first part, all cylinders firing. So, they're putting together, like, they have Savant, there's Savant, Weasel. They have What else do they have? Captain Boomerang. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Where is it? DDK, was it? I'm trying to. So, Blackguard. Yeah. TDK, the detachable kid. it's it's so silly, but it was so amazing. Like, it's so bloody. Like, immediately, Weasel just jumps out and just drowns. Like, did no one check to see if Weasel could swim? And so yeah, he declares him dead, and then someone sells them out. Who was it? It was Blackguard. Yeah, Blackguard. Yeah, he sold him out. He gets blasted in the face. Like, his face is gone, and then there's just a pool of blood. Like, this is a very graphic movie. You see freaking Mongol who freaking jumps a helicopter and is just like, and Yeah, so long and the short, like everyone dies in the first one except for Harley. You can't kill Harley. Like she's the main character. All those other guys are just like whatever, but yeah. It was it was super fun. But you find out later that those guys were just a distraction. Oh, Savant, he tries to flee and then gets his head blown up because he's disobeying orders. But yeah, you find out that they were just a distraction to focus all the military's attention on on that team, while the real team, which has Peacemaker, Bloodsport, King Shark. Who else does it have? It has. No, Rick Flag was with the original one. He also survived somehow, which was very good. Let's see, we have Polka Dot Man, Ratcatcher 2, the daughter of Ratcatcher. So they make it in, they go through. So at very first, the Waller, the person who's in charge of the whole Tax Force X program, so like it's kind of bad. Like she's really a terrible person, and this movie really shows it. But yeah, so she convinces Bloodsport to join, like by essentially like we're gonna throw your daughter in jail, and it's gonna be a prison where they have a very high mortality rate. And it's just like, are you? Wow. So yeah, like she's a very get the job done at any cost, and it's yeah, very dark stuff. But anyway, so she contacts them. They need to go rescue Rick Flag, who she thinks is captured. They go in, that you see them just murder this team of like you think in like military, like the shark eats a man, uh, and then Peacemaker and Bloodsport, they're just like competing, like who can do the best bro kill, who can do the most awesome kill. And it's just, I love the chemistry with those two. It was actually really cool, and I thought it was a very good fight. I mean, it was silly and absurd, but it was also very graphic. It was very fun. It was very fun, and so they go through, they get to the camp. Rick Flag, he's drinking tea. He's with the leader of the insurgents, who you find out later are actually insurgents trying to restore democracy to the island. And yeah, he's just like, why didn't my men tell you you were here? And they're just like, they were gone when I got there. There was no one here. And the King Shark, he just spits out, I guess, a finger or something like that, or a piece of jewelry or something. I don't know, but oh, yeah, it and it's just like yeah. So we just killed all these revolutionaries, these insurgents who are trying to restore democracy. So she takes them out to the city. They have to get into the city to find the Thinker. So the Thinker is someone who apparently is been all about Operation. What is it? Operation Starfish. So it is this mysterious. They don't know. They know it's alien, but they're not really sure. But this laboratory, which is on this island, is apparently Nazi era, and it's called Jotunheim. So Project Starfish. There we go. And then after which You go to Harley, who has been captured, and the leader who overthrew the family that once owned it, but anyway, that a bunch of generals overthrew and hung them, and now a general runs through and he wants to use it to put his island in the big leagues. And then when he tries to convince Harley Quinn to marry him, and then he talks about using this beast upon children, and it's just like red flag. So she shoots him in the chest, killing him. Like he walks away, like he tries to crawl away, but yeah, he bleeds out. He's dead. His second in command takes over. He's a lot more uncompromising. Kills the other general's birds. Yeah, it's it's super weird. Um, this is one of those parts where it kind of does drag, sadly. Let's see, what else do we go into? Sue. They go in to rescue her, is essentially what happens. She doesn't need rescuing. She ends up, after being taken by the second in command, who is now the president, uh, he get she gets tortured for a bit, and then she ends up playing unconscious, and then while the guy's back is turned, he she kills the guy by snapping his neck, who's torturing her, and then she proceeds to just murder everybody. And let me tell you, this fight was very beautifully choreographed. It looked amazing. The music playing was amazing, and like when I saw it in the trailer, I wasn't exactly sure. I thought it may be too ridiculous. Is probably yeah, that was my thought, is that it would be too ridiculous because you see flowers shooting out from all these bodies and all that. But I mean, I saw it in the movie and I honestly thought it did a great job. It was it was very it made it fun, but at the same time, you still like there was still blood and all, like it was, but it was amazing. It was an amazing fight. So she gets out and she sees these guys trying to come rescue her, and they're as ah where is Bloodsport? When Bloodsport starts climbing a wall, there we go. She's just like, "What are you guys doing?" And Reflect's just like, "We're coming to save you. We had a plan and everything. It was pretty good." She's like, "Well, I can go back in if that, and you can still do it." It was fun. So then after that, you go into this where they need to go into a bar where the Thinker frequents. They have to disguise, you know, like I guess tourists or whatever. Like they don't look like natives, so I'm wondering what. But yeah, just look more like everyone else, more acceptable. Um, but the police do come. They get her. So Bloodsport sends Ratcatcher 2 and Polka Dot Man to escort him back to the thing, while he and Peacemaker and ooh, who else gets caught? Well, anyway, I don't forget the full amount of who gets taken. I'm trying to. This is going to torture me. But anyway, yeah. So three get taken. You know, they take out the guards, they escape, and then that's that. And that's where the revolutionaries come in. He's just like, we're going to attack this base. Rick Flag, he's just like, we're going to take this move against this base. All the army is going to be there, leaving the generals completely without protection in their presidential palace. So they move in. The military comes. They start going through and planning explosives. And then it sort of branches off. So you see Rick Flag and Peacekeeper. They find this hard drive after finding the Thinker, and it's just like it reveals that the United States found this organism on the Apollo mission, and it took control of them. And like there's a lot of absurdity in this movie, but it's still a very fun movie. Um, so Rick Flag is gonna take it and expose them. Peacekeeper is just like he's under secret orders from Amanda Waller. So they fight, and man, John Cena, he's a big guy. So I mean, but at the same time, like Rick Flag's still a good fighter. It is a good fight. Like Peacekeeper still is throwing him around, but he still gives as good as he gets, and he does tend take him down before getting stabbed in the heart. And yeah, I kind of felt for him. Like I actually cared about this guy. So, but yeah, it's yeah, he dies like Peacekeeper. What a joke. And then Ratcatcher 2 takes the thing and he chases after her. Knocks her down. It's out of her hands, and he's still going to kill her because he needs to be thorough about making sure no evidence ever escapes. And then that's where we do back again. It does this. The other team, the other branch. So they go out and they are planning explosives as well. The shark, he kind of finds a bunch of cute little fish which mimic his body, and he's just like, friends. And so they're planning it. Some government forces are still in there. They take them out, but there's some charges like that they set. And Polka Dot Man, he with his little polka dots, he sets them off, and it blows it up, and the whole thing just starts. The whole top of it starts collapsing. So that's where it goes, and then it connects back to where Peacekeeper is going to kill Ratcatcher 2, and then he sees Bloodsport, and that's where you do the quick draw. They both shoot at the same time. His Bloodsport's bullet goes through Peacekeeper's bullets, strikes him in the neck, and he just falls down. You think he's dead, and then that's that. So they get out of the building, and at this point, you see this giant starfish, Starro the Conqueror. So yeah, the Thinker, he's the first one to get ripped apart by Starro. He's just like, after 30 years, I'm gonna kill you. So he rips him apart, and then he throws his corpse against the glass, and it just immediately just disintegrates. So at that point, they all start firing, and then Starro, he unleashes not copies of himself, I guess little extensions of himself, I guess. and he begins to take control of the island's population, first by the military, and then starts taking over civilian population. But the laboratory is destroyed, and Waller's just like, "Your mission is complete," and they're just like, "All right." But then Bloodsport is just like, "Damn it," and goes, and Waller is going to kill them all because they all decide that they're going to help out and take this thing down. But one of her subordinates whacks her in the head with her golf club, knocks her out, and then they take control and start helping. So, and then at this point, it starts to get into some like really like bad CGI fest, like, and it's a superhero film. Like you know you're gonna get that. Like if you're not going into a superhero film without CGI, then it's probably not gonna look great. But I mean, over CGI is, I don't know. It was kind of crazy. So at some point, Polka Dot Man takes out his Starro's leg, but then he uses one of his arms and squishes him, and it was sad. It's just like no more Polka Dot Man. He's just like, I'm a fucking superhero. Ah! Squish. But then Harley Quinn, she goes up to the top of it. She has this javelin from one of the earlier from Javelin, essentially. Takes his javelin, jumps and pierces through Starro's eye. And this is like after Ratcatcher 2 summons all the rats of the city, which it looked absolutely crazy. And he's just like trying to get them all off. You just see his little star arms just flailing. But she stabs through his eye, and then all of a sudden the rats, who are now covering like all of his appendages, like they crawl through his eye, and they start eating through his ocular nerve and like into his brain, and it just it's really strange and like just it was really weird to me. So they get to his brain, he falls over. That's the end. And afterwards, Bloodsport uses the captured hard drive to strike a deal with Amanda Waller, essentially saying, "You let us go free. This never sees the light of day. And we're done." So she grants them their freedom. And then that's where, you go to the end and you discover two things. So the mid-credit scene shows Weasel. He starts coughing up a lot of water, and then he gets up and he's just like, he doesn't talk, but I mean he just looks around. It's just like, what's going on? What happened? And then he just runs off into the jungle to go kill kids because that's his thing, I guess. Uh, and then after that, you have an after credit scene in which it shows that Peacemaker, he is also alive. I mean, he's messed up. He's got a broken arm. He's got like the bullet hole in his neck. But yeah, essentially setting up the new HBO miniseries that he's going to be in, which I don't have HBO, so I'm probably not going to see it, which sucks. But oh well, I can probably find a friend to which to see that with. Um, but yeah, so that was the movie. It was super fun. There were some pacing issues. I loved all the characters. Like I actually, when a character died, like, I mean, not the first team, obviously. Like that was I mean, if you paid attention to the first like few trailers, like yeah, you knew that a bunch of people were not going to live. There were some people that died that I hoped wouldn't die again, Polka Dot Man. But I mean, anytime you saw death, like that was impactful. Like you actually felt something. I'm not saying like tear up, but you care about these characters, which was such a stark difference from the first one, where you literally cared only about two or three characters, and it was shitty. Yeah, I was not the biggest fan of the first one. But yeah, so that is the 2021 Suicide Squad. It was a fun watch. The end kind of turned into a big CGI mess. It did have its absurdity, but it was in a good way. It was fun. The music was great. The choreography was great. The casting was amazing. And obviously, all hail to James Gunn because, I mean, he just does an amazing job. So I welcome him back and I wish him the best of luck. So I will catch you guys. I hope you enjoyed. So, yeah, I said I gave this a 9. I was going to give it an 8, but I pushed it to 9 just because I really enjoyed it and it honestly made me want more, want to see where it goes. Like I wouldn't say it's just like, oh God, I gotta have more DC, but it's just like, you know what? If they continue down this path, I'm excited to see what happens next. I don't know what's gonna happen next, but I'm kind of excited to see what happens next if they can keep with doing stuff like this. So 9 out of 10. You should definitely go see this movie. Definitely in theaters. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys next time. So you have a good one, and I will see ya.